Guys, I want to talk about AI and what went wrong there and how people lie about job losses and job cuts and all that. And why it's a lie and why at some point people are going to find out. Who am I? I'm the CEO of Oruka. So Oruka is a smart payment ring that allows you to tap to pay. You download the app MoneySave, MoneySave, and then you order this ring. And then you can tap to pay. You can see your balances. You're on the move. If you're a business owner, you tap this to receive money. So this becomes your POS terminal. To order now, Oruka.com. Well, I want to talk about AI today. Especially again, this is my field because these have AIs. Okay, we use AI to actually deduce exactly where a customer is, what country they should be in, and when things are out of the ordinary. Okay, so with AI we can tell that. So we go in again. It's not rocket science. We use it, but we've always used automation. Automation, KYC, compliance was all automated. So what can happen? You can tell and see, block it. And in fact, that's where I'm going to have a conversation. I'll have a video on this one, on how KYC works, why people's bank accounts get blocked. It gets blocked because of automation. So automation, if you have a bank, I think we were looking at Revolut the other day. Revolut have got 50 million customers. Over 50 million customers. Who do you think is doing the checks on KYC there? It's humans. No, not humans, sorry. It's machines. It's all AI. So with AI goes in and maybe you buy coffee every day, and for some reason you go buy green vegetable in India, right? You flew to India for the week, whatever. If you fly there, that's an anomaly. And then you come back. The bank doesn't know what you've done there. As far as they know, something has gone wrong there, they block it. And what happens? Your account is blocked for days. That's a long story. I'll spend a whole video talking about that, or just search online if you're watching this 1 week later. But what I want to talk about then is basically AI and the grid around AI and the whole job loss. So Dario came out the other day. Okay, this is when April 2026, as of time of recording. Dario came out the other day. He's the CEO of Anthropic, and he says 50% of the jobs are going to be gone. I was like, okay, interesting for a CEO to say. And then I looked again on the other side of the fence. By the way, they hate each other, but they do the same thing. So this guy Sam Altman came in and said, yep, majority of the jobs are going to be gone, jobless, gone. AI is going to take over all that. I was like, interesting. So here's the point. Anyone who is a true CEO that looks at this thing, right, they know that it's like me saying, let me tell you an example, right? It's like when I go, I don't say this, by the way, I hope I don't. But when I go and say, hey, my goodness, if you don't buy our rings, people are going to rob you and steal your wallet and steal your phones. Phone thefts have gone up by 10%. Actually, they have. But the point is, if Sam Altman or these guys were saying that, they will tell you, if you don't buy this ring, your phone and wallet are going to die. You're killing animals by using your green wallets. You should buy the rings, right? So the way they exaggerate is what I think is not fair. It's just not right, okay? And it shouldn't be. That's my point. So the exaggeration, I think, is a problem. And that's where I think is the problem with AI, the exaggeration about the end of the world, the doomsday threat, the fact that AI is going to change the whole world as is, is where I think the problem comes in. Yeah, when you say 50% of jobs are going to be gone, you have to ask yourself, what's your corporate responsibility there? Should you say that? If you're the CEO and you're saying that, I don't think you should be allowed to live there. I think you should be taken from there straight to prison. Right? You're bringing out a machine. Remember the World War, I think was it World War I or II? They had the Manhattan Project with the atomic bomb where a few scientists came up and created a nuclear bomb, a nuclear reaction that could blow up cities. The question is, should you be doing that responsibly? Should you do that? No, then don't do it. So when you come up and you say, hey, I've got an AI that's going to change the world, and 50, if you say you got AI that's going to change the world and reduce work, or reduce manual work, that makes sense. But what you're doing, you're saying 50% of jobs will be gone. So you're selling negativity. It's like me saying, I'm selling my rings here for payments, right? Imagine me selling that your hands are going to blow up, or 50% of the world, will not have wallets or cash. It's just crazy if you're selling the negative part. And that's where I think the problem lies. You're selling negative part of something because negativity makes headlines. We're gonna have to blame news guys for that, but it's okay. Negativity sells, so they go in and they say 50% of the world are gonna be jobless, 50% are gonna be out of a job because of what I'm producing, because of AI. I have to be like, what? Then maybe don't. Or stop with the hyperbole, right? Stop exaggerating. That's it. And I say that because I remember specifically, I think it was Duolingo. Yeah, Duolingo came up. And as soon as they heard about AI, they fired everybody in their team, putting everything automated. Where are they now? Same thing with IBM. IBM came ahead. I think as soon as they heard about AI, they ran in there as well. They laid off 7,000 of their employees. Same thing. Shopify did the same. Shopify came up. I think it was actually a policy on their page. I like Shopify, by the way. We use them. But Shopify came up, and then they said, hey, that before you do anything, you have to actually make sure it can be done by AI, right? So here's the point. That's greed. That's pure greed on AI's part. It's also pure greed on CEO's part as well. Because what the CEOs want to do then is actually reduce and make the current guys do more for less. Because if you look at it, you're supposed to hire someone. Okay, think about it. Someone has left the team. Imagine you have two people doing the job, and the one person has left the team. And instead of hiring that person back, you turn around and say, hey, you must get AI first. So what you're doing is you want this guy to train the AI machine. Again, an AI has no sentient. It's not unique. It's not a human. All it's doing is automated. It's automation, right? So what you're doing, you're now saying, hey, you have to do at least a 1.5% job because you have to train the AI, you have to monitor the AI, you have to make sure that everything it's doing is not doing anything wrong, hallucination, it's not doing anything wrong because the code is wrong, because the logic is wrong. Again, you don't control what the logic does. It's actually OpenAI that does the logic. Guys, look online, find out how AI was made. AI was done like purely manual. Like there are people in Kenya, Ethiopia, reading the internet page by page and finding out what's good, what's bad, and classifying what's good or bad. Yeah, which is called machine learning. Right? Machine learning is basically humans putting categories and then passing on and say, okay, this is the criteria that you're going to judge good or bad. That's why Grok AI got in trouble, right? Elon Musk came up with this AI, XAI. He got in trouble because of it, because it was doing a lot of things that it shouldn't, inappropriate, immoral things that it shouldn't do. But it doesn't know because the classification wasn't done properly by humans. So that's the point. Corporation, as soon as they hear, I'm sure people heard this as well when Dario said 50% of the workforce are going to be gone. PD corporations, as soon as they hear that, the first thing they do is, I need to fire 50% of people. That's going to save my bottom line 50%. Oh my God, boom, fire, right? And then what happens then? The company goes down, then you have to run back. So again, I don't want to sound too negative or too doomsday about these guys. They're very smart guys. Dario and Sam Altman are smart guys. They're not geniuses, let's be honest. The people who are the geniuses are the developers doing the work. But these guys are smart in the sense that they actually run these corporations and they know how to sell. They know how to trigger fear among people. They know how to sound negative so that people freak out and get scared. In fact, there's a guy saying to me that he's going to force everybody in his company to learn AI. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I was like, okay, well, you know what that means? That just means automation. So you're going to force everyone in the company to learn automation. Okay, you don't have to force them. They will learn automation. I'm not trivializing what AI is doing. So guys, don't get this wrong. I agree, AI is the future. As much as I agree, the internet was the future in the 2000s. Yeah, I agree. Again, this is a computer. I agree. If anyone was around, if you went to school, I went to school in Nigeria. Yeah, that's my background. I went to school in Nigeria. And then before that, in Ireland, then Nigeria, then back to Ireland, the UK. But we had a computer room, right? Guys, remember this computer room, and all you had was computers. You had computer labs, which I think used to be on Tuesdays. That's how much I remember, because I look forward to it. Yeah, there was a priest in Manchester, but he was in Nigeria then, and he taught us about computers. But you have to go in. Now, imagine saying everyone has to learn computers back then. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Like, you don't need anything. Just put the computers there. People have to learn it because the future is computers. Then internet came up, .com came up. Everyone went online. But people went crazy with the price of online. Then that's what was called the .com bubble. Everyone that had a .com page, they would just come out. If you have a .com page, they tell you it's going to be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 to get a .com page. This was a simple page that is $1 now. That's the value. The value was $1. But people went crazy and were angry that they were not part of that .com bubble until it burst open. But those days, you had to have a website. Some people didn't even need a website. They had to have a website. Now people realize, okay, you need to have a website. Okay, but if you don't, there are other ways to go online. Or maybe if you're a pizza store, you focus on your pizza rather than online. Again, the yellow pages, which now became a phone. Now you have a phone. They didn't force everyone to get a phone. It happened. So that's where AI is going. AI is automation. So the future is automated. I agree. And people will learn it. Don't worry. There's 60-year-olds, 18-year-olds killing themselves and panicking about it. Don't panic, guys. There's a message you get from here. Don't panic about AI. You will learn about it. Not a problem. And you're not being left behind. I see a lot of social media gurus there saying, oh, you're being left behind. Wake up in the morning and do this and that. And I'm like, guys, come on. There's no one making money from AI, right? If you're making money, you're making money because you're smart. If you're making money, you're making money because you found out how to automate something. But it wasn't because of AI, it was because you're smart. If you did nothing and you went in and used the same idea, the same thing, and you went ahead and say, hey, I'm going to do this, right? I don't know, with not with AI, with just normal computers, you could have done it. Yeah. So that's my point. They don't waste money and don't panic unnecessarily because these two CEOs are pushing the needle and trying to make more sales and increase their stock price. Again, mind you, these guys are going public. And don't be surprised, as soon as they go public, they're going to step out and say, hey, I've done enough. I don't want to be CEO anymore. Yeah. And then everything comes crumbling. You heard it here first. So I hope that helps, right? I think the other point I wanted to mention, which I don't like saying, what I wanted to mention was, hey, I hope these guys go down. I hope ChatGPT, OpenAI, I hope they go down. I hope things go back to normal because when they go down, things go back to normal, which is painful to hear because, again, they're just selling AI. But when they go down, what's going to happen is Microsoft is going to swallow that. YouTube, Google is going to swallow that so that now you now have a more wholesome experience as a customer. Because as a customer, you don't have to buy AI, you will get AI with your Google page. You open up your Google page, you have AI now, which is always the case. That's what you want, especially when you're the one providing the data. You're the one putting data on the page. Yeah. Again, I shouldn't say that in a bad way because OpenAI, again, they suggest our rings. A lot of people that come to buy our rings go from ChatGPT. They talk to ChatGPT. So that's fine. Again, I have nothing against that. But the point is, at the end of the day, when you see a bubble, you have to say it. So in this case, the machine itself is a bubble. All you want to do is search. And if you can search on Google, search on Amazon, search anywhere, that'll be it. Okay. So that's it for now. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe. Don't panic about OpenAI. Oh, AI is not taking your jobs. Automation is taking your jobs. Learn automation and buy Oruka. Oruka.com. Cheers.